Hi everyone, my name is Imran al-Amin bin Ahmad Masduki, and for today I would like to talk about the 5 stages of grief in the short film Tuba Atlantic. Tuba Atlantic is a 2010 Norwegian short film directed by Håvard Witto and written by Lina. It tells the story of an elderly man named Oscar who is 60 years old and whose doctor has predicted that he'll pass away in 6 days. He has a never-ending battle with seagulls because they constantly foul the environment and make people's life miserable. Oscar has a brother whose name is Ron, with whom he had a fight with. Oscar is willing to forgive him despite the fact that they had a fight when he was younger with his brother over a golden watch, which caused them to become estranged from one another. During his final days, he was assigned with an angel of death by the name of Inga because he refused to pass away in medical facility where he was being treated. Every time Oscar makes the sign that denotes a new stage of mourning, this angel of death goes through the motion of crossing out the previous stage. One day, Oscar demonstrated to Inga the project that he and his older brother Ron labored on when they were younger. The eruption of Krakatoa served as the inspiration of this enormous tuba that blows into the ocean. According to Oscar, this is the only way for him to communicate with Ron. However, in order for the sound to travel to the United States, where his brother resides, the wind needs to be blowing from west to east. After learning the fact that he only has 6 days left to leave, Oscar decided to make amends with his brother, despite the fact that the last time he checked, his brother was living in New Jersey, which is a significant distance away from Norway. Oscar, who is aware that his time is limited, spends his last days making preparation to use a massive tuba structure to broadcast across the Atlantic Ocean. He's adamant about achieving closure before he passes away. This movie talks about the 5 stages of grief. Inga is seen to cross out the word of the 5 stages of grief every time Oscar shows the signs of it. This implies that one would act the 5 stages of grief during the last days of living. Along the way, Oscar must confront his own mortality and the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. He was assigned with an angel of death named Inga during his last days. Oscar is initially in denial about his own death, refusing to accept that he's terminal and has only a few days left to live. He tried to distract himself by doing the things he usually does every day, like fighting with seagulls. He tried making himself believe that everything is normal. He's determined to send a message to his estranged brother in America, hoping that it will somehow reconcile both of them together before he dies. Oscar's denial is eventually challenged when he meets Inga, the angel of death, who serves as a guide and monitor for his journey through the stages of grief.
Hi, my name is Hadif Hirzi, and I will continue with the next stage of grief. As Oscar grapples with the reality of his own morality, he becomes angry and bitter about the circumstances of his life and the fact that he will never be able to see his brother again. Of course, he killed some seagulls in the process, as seagulls are the natural enemy to the people who live by the coast. He even destroyed the bird egg. He lashed out all those people around him, including Inga, who tried to reassure him that it is natural to feel angry in the face of death. In the bargaining stage of grief, Oscar bargained with Inga and the others to extend his life or see his brother before he died. He talks to Inga more and shows her the secret of the giant tuba he and his brother made when he was young. Oscar realizes his time is running out after failing to find a solution. Inga says, "I guess," when Oscar asks if she can talk to the god to change the wind. Oscar tried to convince the god to change the wind before he dies so he can say goodbye to his brother.
As Oscar comes to terms with his impending death, he falls into a state of depression and begins to withdraw from the world around him. He becomes isolated and disconnected, struggling to find meaning in his final days. In his bed, he talks about his regret of not coming to America with his brother when John invited him. He falls into depression thinking what could have been had he listened to his brother. Oscar opens the other side of the picture hanging on his wall, revealing another person in the picture. This is his brother, John. This shows that Oscar finally forgives him. Ultimately, Oscar reaches the acceptance stage of grief, recognizing that he cannot change the fact that he's going to die. He finds peace and acceptance in the knowledge that he has lived a full and meaningful life, knowing the fact that the Tuba sound reached his brother, and his brother responded to this message through the radio. He closes his eyes, knowing that he reconciled with his brother and faces death, accepting the fact that he is about to meet a real angel of death. Oscar gives his Black Beauty to Inga as he no longer needs after death. Throughout the movie, Black Beauty becomes a tool to deal with his enemy, the seagulls. We can consider the rifle as something Oscar cherished much. By giving the rifle to Inga, he no longer cares about the seagulls, which shows the acceptance of fate by Oscar.
In conclusion, Tuba Atlantic is a beautifully crafted and emotionally powerful short film that tackles the difficult but universal themes of morality, grief, and forgiveness. Oscar embarks on the journey of self-discovery and reconciliation, ultimately finding peace and closure before he passes away. Throughout the film, Oscar's story is enriched by the compelling and well-developed character, including the Angel of Death Inga, who served as a guide and monitor for Oscar's journey through the stage of grief. The film also features striking cinematography and beautiful landscape that capture the beautiful and solitude of Oscar Island home. In addition to its emotional depth and thematic complexity, Tuba Atlantic has received widespread acclaim and recognition, including a nomination for an Academy Award in the category of Best Live Action Short Film in 2012 and win several of prestigious film festivals. It is a testament to the film's enduring appeal and universal themes that it's continued to resonate with audiences around the world. Overall, Tuba Atlantic is a deeply moving and thought-provoking film that will leave a lasting impression on anyone who has the opportunity to experience it. That's all from us, Group 11. Thank you.